Well, it is 8:30, it's time for the weekly meeting of the Mitchell County Board of Supervisors. We have an agenda in front of us. Do we have any additions, deletions, corrections?
Number 3, we're not gonna award any contracts. I haven't seen anything from BBC signed yet.
Delete 3.
Or delete or table it.
Okay.
Why don't we table it this morning, because if they do have something signed.
Yeah, that's fine, just table it. I'd make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Been moved and second, further discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. County attorney isn't here, but Tom is. Good morning, Tom.
County attorney just pulled up behind me.
Well, he's late, so.
We're gonna ask you guys to table the award of the contract for one more week.
We already did.
Okay, good for you. Good deal. Other than that, the only update I have is we have a pre-construction meeting on Thursday, 10 o'clock. So we're at City Hall. Anybody's welcome.
What time, Tom?
10 o'clock.
10 a.m.
Yep. And basically just go over the requirements of the project and whatever else, and then they're gonna probably be mobilizing the week after. I think their schedule indicated they were gonna start actually doing construction work probably the first week or second week in July, so we're gonna start going. That's all I got today, but like I said, well, things are gonna pick up here.
Why weren't we ready for this again? I mean, not.
I don't know if Joel might be, he's aware of some of the stuff. And I'm not aware of any of this, okay, but the agreement you guys had with Valent had a dollar amount in it for all these improvements with a 10% wiggle room. We've exceeded the 10%, so all as Brenda and Kathy and John Danos are doing is revising that agreement so it's got the real numbers in it, and they just need those folks to sign off. Now, Brenda and I met with Tom Green, who's the head guy for this stuff. It'd be a little over a week ago. Went over everything with them, brought him up to speed. He's aware of it. Now they're just waiting for John Danos to redo that agreement. Now, an email came out last night where Kathy and Brenda both asked him to make sure he kept that as a top priority. So as soon as he gets that done,
Yep.
and as soon as Valent checks it, we're rolling.
Okay,
So it's right now, it's a paperwork deal.
all right.
All right.
Sounds
Okay.
Good. Thanks, Tom.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Guys have a great week.
Yeah.
We'll see you
We're all
later.
Keep the sun shining.
Yeah, for a day at
Item
least.
2, County Attorney General discussion. Good morning, County Attorney.
What do you have for me?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Is it?
Good news. No news.
No news is good news, we always say.
Did that Sinansker property get paid for?
It's in the claims
Okay.
today. Yep.
All right. Other than that, I don't think I have anything. Saw Stan's emails this morning. On the courthouse.
Oh.
So, good, if you don't have anything, I don't have anything.
Well, later on here, just to give you an update, the discussions that I've been having with the public is they really do want to have a vote on this courthouse, even though people said that they support it, they really feel that they should have a vote.
Yeah.
We can either get something done already the 1st of August, but then we have to have a 45 or 46-day lead time, which means after 10 days from now already, we couldn't be talking about it, which, to me, that's way too fast. And otherwise, then November, be on the ballot with.
We can talk about it.
Well, I
You
mean,
just can't spend public money promoting it.
yeah, well,
And what number are you gonna promote? See, that's the other thing, we don't know,
Mhm.
you know,
so basically the 7th or whatever, the
18th is when coming back.
5th of November would be the, actually have it on for the ballot.
Mhm.
And I think we ought to take out a fair booth this year. And we can have all of the drawings right there and go through it with anybody that's interested. I think if we actually do due diligence on this thing, Because we'll have numbers, we'll actually have drawings, we'll have a lot of things we didn't have last time.
Right, I agree. Okay,
There's some errands amount for certification.
didn't I get you that letter?
I didn't see it. Usually do pretty early.
I dictated, I wonder why it hasn't come back to me yet.
Okay.
I'll get it to you. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Mark.
Thanks,
You bet.
Item 4, approve the minutes. We have 2 sets.
I read them, I didn't have any problem with
Just a
them.
second.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, and Joel seconded. Mark's gonna third it.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve both sets of minutes. Further discussion. Hearing none, Ralph.
Aye.
Loveland.
Aye.
Walk, aye, motion carried. Claims.
I'm not quite through them. yet.
Okay, we'll skip that for right now. Approve reimbursement for general fund from mental health department.
Yeah, that's that resolution here. $1,600.
How much?
1,600 out of the same service area.
Oh, yeah, here it is.
What's it for?
Oh,
Not just quite enough money and being down the end of the year, so too late to really do any more amendments.
It's resolution 876-13, whereas at this time during 2012-2013 budget year, the appropriated amount for juvenile department 61 is not sufficient to meet the needs of the department. Therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Mitchell County that these changes be made to the appropriations. Increase juvenile 1,600, decrease medical examiner's fee by 1,600.
Oh, okay, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution 876-13.
Or what, we got one above it too, is something different.
That's the one I was looking at.
Yeah.
That's a different deal, we're just,
yes.
we're approving number 9 right now.
Oh, okay.
I will second that. Yeah, I was on the wrong line this one.
I still am.
Too many lines, hold it down.
Too many resolutions.
Okay. Been moved and second, further discussion. Hearing none, Volklander.
Aye.
Morel.
Aye.
Walk, aye, motion carried.
Sheila coming this morning?
I know she's in town, so,
She is?
yeah.
She'll be here. Good, I mean, we need to talk to her a little bit anyway, I want to anyway.
Okay, then item number 8. Approve reimbursement to general fund for mental health department.
I forgot what that one is.
I don't have one of those.
I don't either.
Let's table that for now.
Okay, we're gonna table that for. Item 10, approve liquor license for Acorn Park Golf Course. Is all
Everything's in
paperwork-
order.
Everything's in order?
I'll make that motion. To approve the liquor license for Acorn Park Golf Course.
I'll second it.
Been moved and second, further discussion.
All the rain, you'd think they'd wanna go dry up there.
Actually, they're probably spending more time
In the
at
clubhouse.
19th hole than they are at the rest of the 18.
Well, it sounds like they're also having a hard time financially, because remember here a
Well, the
couple
bridge
months
is
ago.
closed, and
Pardon?
the bridge is closed, or is that keeping?
No, remember, but 2 months ago, they were selling those chances to raise money?
Oh, that's right, that's right.
They suckered both you and I into,
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I never won either.
One for bad luck, I wouldn't have any at all.
Yeah, they raised 23,000.
Did they really?
But now you got here April and May, and
Yeah.
you're not
Not open, basically.
Not much.
Do they have memberships?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it was open to the public
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, it's
Green
kind of
Peas.
managed through the city, but they have their own board of directors. So, yeah, you can be you can live in the town and just pay a green fee, you don't have to join, unlike
Some places.
Sunnybrook.
Yeah.
If you live in the school district, you have to be a member.
If you're in the school district. What are green fees if you're PFC? You know?
Up in St. Ansgar,
Yeah.
I think during the week it's maybe $12, $15 and probably about 20 on the weekends.
Okay.
Further discussion?
Maybe the county ought to buy a golf course.
They might wanna sell us one, that's the problem. We may be owning them.
I've seen that.
There's some companies that do. I don't think there's
Wasn't that
many,
how they
but
got into trouble with using TIF dollars to
could be.
design and build golf courses and, of course, I guess you can argue the economic development
Mhm.
factor on that. I guess you,
In one respect, more so than some other things,
Right.
because, again, if you have no recreation for companies
That's right.
you need amenities.
any more days, I mean, that's all changed. It's,
Anyway,
People need something to do after hours.
okay, roll call vote, Morel.
Aye.
Oaklander.
aye.
Walk, aye, motion carried.
I see my notes on that general fund from mental health department 13 is that $50,000 that we had did earlier. So
That
that's
we
what-
put- we
That's
put-
what number 8 is.
Yeah, we
Oh,
put,
okay.
from the general, we put into the mental health
Mhm.
$50,000.
Bring it back in.
Has she seen the check yet?
I haven't seen any check, but
See, that's, I've seen.
maybe we just wanna wait on
I
this.
would table it, because we can't, so
Especially
besides,
after,
with that, why would we need to approve
there's no
it?
paperwork on it, but
I thought I seen something this morning. Maybe it's on my desk.
Yeah, go ahead. Or you got something.
Maybe that was in the claims I was looking at.
it could be, yeah,
It wasn't $50,000.
It must have been in the claims I seen it.
okay.
I think there was
Department 13,
yeah, right there it is. This county treasurer, 50,000 reimbursement for payback of general, 50,000.
yep.
But who's paying who?
I don't think any from,
Department 13. That's,
the Bob Lee.
right, it's 10. I thought that was Fund 10. Or did they do
Well,
away
mental-
with it?
But mental health is 13, but maybe they did it early.
Well, this is coming out of somebody's pocket. I'm wondering whose pocket is it coming out
It's
of?
coming back out of it, county social services maybe.
Well, why would it be a claim? If County Social Services is giving you $50,000, they'd hand you a check.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be coming out of a department.
It doesn't say much, was that claim in there?
That's claims. That's what we're paying.
Yeah, I understand that, but I want to look at that. The real
And,
Oh.
22,480, 408, 22,408.
yeah, if we're approving it, well, not really, if we're paying it.
And it's coming out of, go back to general fund, the check will go to the treasurer. So we will
Bob
do the
must be,
check.
Bob must be gonna put it in our,
Yeah.
this claims this time and it'll come through. So we
Right.
need to approve that check going to the general fund.
Mhm.
Okay, that's what that is. I'll make a motion to do that.
And that's item H, is that right?
Yes, correct.
So we're back in business on H, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
When the check comes in, we're approving putting it back into the general fund.
Okay.
So, check will be generated today.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Been moved and second for the discussion. Hearing none, vote Flander.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Clock, aye, motion carried. Item 11, discuss and possible action on Cedar River floodplain. A couple of weeks ago, Larry Weber was up here on, talking to some of the landowners south of St. Anster. And I know a few months ago, because that whole flood map changed, there had been discussion here at the board that possibly looking at assisting on trying to get this flood map thing properly done. There for a while, there was a discussion that it would cost, well, to begin with, they weren't sure how much it was gonna cost. Then it was kicked around, probably not more than $40,000 to come up with an assessment of, is this really a correct map or is this not a correct map? They apparently went back, done some more looking, and part of what happens is there was 5 or 6 different outfits that worked on this whole state of Iowa flood map thing. And apparently some of them actually had a little different criteria that they followed than others. And so this skewed some of the floodplain maps. Well, there also is, you have to take into consideration, I guess, the depth of the water, the formation of the banks even underneath the river. Is it smooth? Is it rough? Is it, there's all kinds of information that'll help determine whether or not this is in the floodplain or not. And so Larry Weber's group from the U of I said they feel now that they could do this new study, and they really feel fairly confident that they can probably get some or quite a few of those houses out of the floodplain on the west side of the river.
Okay.
There's no guarantees 100%, but they feel, they think there's enough that they possibly can do it. They're not sure about the east side. And they could do this for $15,000. Is this something that the Board of Supervisors ought to be trying to participate in, trying to encourage that we get this map done? Because if the floodplain maps stay, property values there are going to go down considerably, and taxes go down considerably. I don't.
I think the people that benefit should be ponying up for it. I mean, what's it gonna do for me?
Why should the rest of taxpayers be burdened with that? They're the ones who decided to build it.
How many people does it involve?
On the west side, it involved at least 9 or 10. And on the east side, I'm not exactly sure how many it would involve. Probably another 10, 12 on the east side.
So for under $1,000 a piece, we can get this done.
Yeah. Thank you.
I guess I'd wanna approach it that way for it, you know, because then where else in the county are we gonna have to pay to have this done? You know, you kinda open a can of worms there. And why did they have all those different criteria? I think I would throw that floodplain map off then, because it's
First,
not all.
that's the part of the problem, I mean, you know, the DNR,
Well, they're part of the problem.
yeah, I mean, we just can't throw the floodplain map out, they're the ones that,
Well, make them prove that it's in the floodplain.
you know, they're the DNR, they say you prove it, well, you know what I mean, that's the worst of it.
Guilty until proven innocent. The way they operate. Morning, fisherman. Brom. Cleaned out the deep freeze, but I haven't heard from him.
I didn't bring that much on.
Oh, okay.
No,
Pardon?
I wouldn't.
Table it?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do anything for now,
Okay.
unless these people want to come in and say how much they want to put towards it, or.
Maybe
I
it's
mean,
table
They
it
gotta have skin in the game on a deal like this, because it doesn't only.
then. Yeah, no, they
it
have to
only-
have skin in the game.
Only involves a few people in the whole county, and what does it do for the county? Then is it gonna,
Well, the worst of it is, though, I mean, every one of them built with being out of the floodplain, and all of a sudden, now they're in.
so now it's worth it to them to pay the $1,000 and find out for sure if they are. Because if they are, well, then they are, but if they aren't, well, then $1,000
it isn't-
is saved on the
Should
insurance.
be their argument that, yeah, we built this in good faith, that we weren't
Right,
there, and all of a sudden you wanna change it, how come?
Is
The
that the new,
river
is
hasn't changed.
and we haven't raised the dam.
that the new floodplain map you're talking about? Yeah, that argument came up that night they had their meeting.
But on the other part of it is, playing devil's advocate, on the side that I live on, all of those people have their houses paid for, and they can live there till the day they die. It isn't gonna affect them, it's the next landowner that, so you have a house that's paying $3,000 of property tax, all of a sudden it's paying 500. Is this what, because you're in the floodplain? The value went way down. I mean, you know, that's. So to a little extent, the county has some skin in the game.
But even if they do spend $1,000, it doesn't mean that they're gonna be out of the floodplain either.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
So,
You know,
but at least,
Guarantees.
their chances are probably better than 50-50, but
Well, they should have been like you, Stan, build up on the hill. And still get to see the river. Didn't have to sit right on the bank.
But he only gets to see it when it floods.
He waves to his neighbors.
high water for
They're
it.
down there with a bucket.
yeah, I had a choice of all those lots.
Yeah, I mean,
I chose whatever.
Same thing all the way along the river down to Gulf of Mexico.
yeah,
People build houses, so.
that's nice to,
Well,
well, be built on the bluff.
Look at Waterloo, Cedar Rapids, Charles City, the universities built in the floodplain. So much for education. They weren't smart enough to build on the hill.
Maybe they're educated, they just didn't use it.
Not yet.
It's called common
Well, even though that you and I
Common
mean, it didn't
sense.
flood there for 100 and some years. I mean, all of a sudden it floods one time and.
Was that land grant university too?
No, I don't think
Ames
so.
was,
Ames was.
yeah.
Well, maybe put some of those holding ponds, and maybe would remedy some of that.
Well, I think if there's ever been a year to promote no-till farming, this is it, you know.
That's interesting you say that when you look at the fields that are no-till.
The stocks are
They're
right
not
there.
washed as bad as
They're
the
not
ones that
washed
were
out,
planted.
the stalks are holding the ground, the stalks aren't laying in the riverbed or the creeks or ditches.
Ditches.
You know, I mean, you can deal with the symptoms all you want, but if you don't deal with the cause, it's gonna change.
Well, let's go up to item, item 6, county engineer.
Well, we got 7 roads closed. Still. Now, Dancer Avenue from 498th to 480th is still closed. Echo Avenue from 465th to 218 is closed. Hickory from 465th to 440th is closed. March Avenue from 48th to 465th. That's the little bridge north of Peavy there, that's not in very good shape after the second round.
Mhm. Yeah, that's kind of
Primrose, which is down to that substation with that big multiplate pipe washed out, still closed. We may have to throw some small pipe in there and backfill it just to get something in there until we get, that pipe is not usable, the one that was in there, that we put in 2008. It's dented all the way from the flow line up to the ceiling, you can't.
that was a metal pipe.
That was a structural arch, or a structural. So I just closed 450th again last night between Ocean and Primrose because they'd put it back in, and then one of the blade operators said, hey, you may want to take a look at it again. And there's piling that are snapped, and the wing walls, you can see nail pull-outs from the piles on the wing walls. Things just aren't. I didn't want any heavy traffic.
Did you say that's on Ocean or?
It's between Ocean and Primrose on 450. It's just east of Levan.
Oh, okay.
It's a little
Yeah.
20 footer, 25 footer, and then Primrose. Well, we still got 105 closed yet too. But 105, we're waiting on, the gas company's reboring their gas line under the stream bed. And once they get out of the way, on Turtle Creek there, on 105.
Oh, so 105 is not open yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Once they get done boring, we can get the riprap off the road, back over, because we put the guardrail back up for now.
Sure.
And once we get the riprap back in, we can get open up the traffic.
Yeah, Jim said last week he was hoping it'd be open last Saturday.
Yeah, they're boring in rock, so I don't know if the fiber optic people didn't go as deep as the gas company, that they didn't hit as much rock, but they're chattering through rock right now, so I haven't been out there today to find out how far they are, but I'm hoping by the end of this week they've got that line bored through and we can get that back armored again and then opened up. So, we're keeping track of the costs as well, because the 105 bridge and east of Stacyville are on major collectors. And FEMA doesn't pay for anything on major collectors, so FHWA will pay for that. We've got to do ER. We're getting through this process of ER funding now, where we use the 105 bridge for an example. We can throw the stuff in there to get the bridge back opened up, but we're gonna need new bridge approaches and update the guardrail when it's all said and done. And what we'll have to do then is put it through the ER program and go through the concept statement, plans, the specifications and all that stuff to be reimbursed for some of those costs. And if the road is qualified for that, they will, from what I've been reading and what I've been told by the DOT, is that they'll reimburse us for everything we've done up to that point as well, as long as we do a final project that goes through the DOT, which makes crazy sense to me, but that's just the way they operate that program. So, the guys are getting caught up on a lot of the blading of the gravels. We've got a lot of subs out there that are still cleaning out ditches now. We're getting the field driveways when we're by them. If we're cleaning out a ditch, we're telling them to fix the driveway while they're out there. So we're working on that daily. So all the blade guys are out blading and rocking.
Well, at coffee shop this morning, they said that Ray must have had a statement in the Agri-News that we had over $3 million worth of damage.
Don't know where that would have come from.
I don't get the Agri-News.
Unless he was talking countywide, but I don't even know what countywide was. I would believe countywide, maybe with adding the cities and the county together, it might be that.
Or is it talking two counties?
I don't know, he could have done.
He works in.
I didn't.
Did Northwood get some more rain?
They got some, but they didn't. I think in Worth County, they had maybe one road that had water on top. Everything else kind of stayed within the banks. So that's where we're at today with the flood. You're gonna see a large claim come through in the next session from Nuss Truck for that engine that we're putting in that motor grader. It's a $44,000 bill until they get our core back, and then they take $17,000 back off.
$17,000 court charge?
Yeah,
Wow.
so they'll be seeing that next time around, just so you know what that is. Other than that, we've got a lot of calculations to run to replace some of these things. That bridge in 480, 450th, I think we're just gonna have to take it out and put something else back in it because of those piling. And I think the one north of Stacyville on March Avenue is probably gonna have to come out. It's just the piling or wood piling and,
That's north of Peavy's?
Yeah.
March.
it's got a little concrete wall, not that one, it's got little bitty railings on it, stuff. It doesn't even, it really isn't even on our bridge inspection list because it's too short.
Yeah, it's just a little bitty thing.
Are you aware of, I think we each got a letter like this.
I might not have seen it yet. I haven't seen this yet.
You're seeing it now.
Any word on number 9?
I talked to Jack last night, because he went over that little bridge. They're putting, I don't know, they're putting triple 14s into that, triple 14 box culverts into that.
There was just one before, now they're gonna put 3 in there?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh.
But it was amazing to hear that that was done in 1821
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and lasted that long
yeah.
with that heavy traffic.
Yeah, they built things to last back then.
Yep.
They,
Just like
I
State
think that
Street.
old number 9 is still under most of that road out there, isn't it? They used to have,
I haven't been
used to
out
have
there
them,
looking.
rain gutters on it where, you know, you'd be all over the road if you wanted. You know? But, then I think they busted them off and then they wiped it out and blacktopped it.
Late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, it's been quite a while ago, but that was,
Must be on 218 also.
but I think the base under there is still the old, from back in the 30s, during the Depression years, I think that was built.
Guess we better keep this truck for a while, huh?
Quite a few thousand miles, yeah.
Nothing to talk, and find out where we're at with this equipment, because we've got that old truck and we're sticking that kind of money into it.
What's that?
That's probably not where we need to be going.
And then we could've went across the street here,
Well,
they'd done the same thing.
well, right,
It ain't like it was under warranty.
no. We could, yeah, we should probably be doing more of that locally. I know some of our stuff's going there,
There?
yeah, but not all of it, huh?
Why?
I don't know. I don't know if he figures it's just easier to go to
Who's
the
he?
dealership, not Mark. Mechanic. He
I
can't,
don't think that's his call, is it?
well, he's the mechanic if he
I don't
feels,
care.
well,
Is he? Well, then why ain't he fixing that?
because he's working on 10 other things at once. Some of this stuff he's got to farm out. He's been working on Saturdays now to get caught up. I gave him the authority to work Saturdays if he needs to get caught up, because we're still sitting there with a motor grader without an engine in it, because we're trying to fix a lot of other things. So, yeah,
What kind of work did they do?
they just, it had needed
Overhaul.
front end parts and spark plugs and brakes, and
Transmission kit and
On the truck?
this is where we're at with our,
Hennessy right up the road.
Wow.
These are
This
big
is where we're
trucks,
at with
special
equipment.
just a regular Silverado pickup truck.
Oh, it's just a pickup.
Yeah, they could've done it over here, they could've done it anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know, is Mark set up for front end work over here or not? Is he?
we'll have that conversation.
Yeah. You should.
188,000 miles on
Right.
It wasn't new.
Not picking
but-
on you.
No, it's part of my responsibility to find that stuff out though, and I'm not always aware of where things are going because, well,
it.
I
could see
trust
where-
that he's saving us money by doing things in shop.
So they come pick it up, I'm sure, or we have to send a guy down with it.
No,
No, what?
his wife works in Charles City, so she drives it.
Okay.
She works there?
And I think maybe that's.
Oh,
something I should
come
look at.
on, that's,
I think I should-
when do we get our kickback?
I didn't,
Okay, well, what happens, there's an accident between.
I've checked that out.
Okay.
She's protected to do that. She's
Well, I
insured.
know they take a lot of warranty stuff in town here, you know, and somebody will take it down there, or they'll come pick it up.
Mhm.
And so
They
I'm
have
sure
drivers.
they're covered that way.
They're covered that way. I made sure of that,
Right,
so. But I will check into why we're not doing more local.
yeah.
I didn't know how much stuff was going there. I know some of the others, some of the newer stuff is, but it's just when he's,
The older would be,
Well,
the
if
new,
it's off warranty, I still think we should, you know.
there's no
depending on
reason why
what it
not,
is.
unless Mark's been noticing there's been issues with maintenance locally, but I don't know that.
No, I haven't had any problems locally.
Okay.
You can still get all GM parts and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
Anyway, the new foreman's truck is in too, so we'll be getting that picked up here.
That Toyota.
Yeah. That's a Ford.
Oh,
I made them all happy by getting another Ford.
Oh, that's too bad, I don't get any.
Dollars and cents, right?
fix or repair daily.
Yeah. Found on the road.
Bottom of the road dead.
Or burned out.
Burned up, yeah.
Yeah, don't need that.
Anyway,
I'll let you guys keep, I haven't seen this one. I wonder if a copy even came to the engineer's office. I went through all the mail and didn't
I haven't
see it.
seen that, what is it?
It's that DNR, or the DOT. Floodplain
It's one you
development.
handed me this morning.
Oh, you just opened it, yeah.
Anything else for me?
Yes,
Do you think, go ahead, Stan.
I would really like to do a little something special for
Oh,
the
yeah.
employees, because,
I'm gonna see this.
I mean, you know, you send them out on a Sunday night, there isn't a one of them that refuses to go.
Yeah.
It's dark, it's dangerous, they're on roads that they don't know that there's a bottom holding it up, so on and so forth. And I think once in a while, a little appreciation goes a long ways to, because like I say, when we have this kind of problem, they're all part of a team. I mean, I have never seen to where they're having any bickering, fighting, whatever else. They got a job to do, and by God, they work their ass off to get it done. And so, county attorney said we could do something, and I wouldn't mind doing it for them and their wives.
One thing I thought about, Stan, was these chamber bucks. We just give them so many dollars worth of chamber bucks, they can spend it how they want and where they want. Just a suggestion, not saying that what needs to be done, but it's something that could be kept local, and they can, they don't have to be anywhere at a certain time, or, certain restaurant, they spend it wherever they want.
The attorney said it's okay to do that.
Do something for an appreciation. Joel?
Duty
it's
above and
gonna
beyond.
include Greg's people, EMA, they were all out there.
Yeah. Dispatch.
Dispatch.
There was a couple of dispatches that worked extra hours, but
You know, double shift.
I just know how the code reads with public honors and doing that stuff, but if the attorney thinks it's part possible.
I've yet to see anybody, not trying to be unkind, but I've yet to see anybody killed in the line of duty for the sheriff's office, but we've had, over the years, a number of people seriously injured or killed in secondary roads. I mean, we've had them electrocuted, trying to put in posts. I mean, we've had them tipped in.
We've got them over by semis and tractors.
Yep. I mean, it's a much more dangerous job than anything else.
I guess TP worked for the state, and got that tree crushed in that time. Orchard, Mr. TD, I forgot what his name was, Bill. Remember that? He worked for Iowa State.
But we're talking about the rain event,
Yeah, we're talking about that.
and I think what we do for one, we have to do them all.
But there were, I don't know.
What if one of those deputies drove off the road that wasn't there anymore?
Deputies weren't out flagging in that though.
there was one deputy out there.
Well, Greg said he was out.
There was one deputy out that I know of, because he was marking his followers over the road until somebody else got there. And that was me, because I ran home to keep my generator running and then came back out, so. When I showed up, then the deputy did leave. And we went out for signs. I personally don't have a problem with it. As long as there's a legality there that allows it.
But I didn't hear of any deputies getting called out extra. Maybe they did, but nothing was ever said. I mean, just the deputy that was on duty was doing what he's supposed to do.
I don't know what the deputies, the sheriff's department did. I mean, I know they were out and about because they were getting calls and they were calling us too, and Greg and I were in contact with each other, so.
Well, talk to Greg and see.
Well, I guess I don't know what you
People
plan on
did
doing
extra.
for appreciation.
Well, his idea isn't bad. I mean,
You know, it'd be something that,
Chamber
you know, they wouldn't
something.
have to all be together at a restaurant or something for a meal, or they could spend it how they want, it'd be kept local, it would be, something they could spend at the gas station, or the restaurant, or the hardware store, or wherever. I mean, the chamber bucks are taken just about anywhere.
I was just getting with the union, we allowed to do this.
Are we allowed to?
Yeah,
Are
I
they
mean,
gonna say no?
not,
Are they gonna say no?
well, maybe they should. They know how to say no when we want something.
Speaking of that,
Let's come out.
I would really like to approach the union and see if they would be willing to drop their representative. We don't have a representative, but, I mean, basically anymore, you go through the union contract, and it's pretty well all decided except for wages. And it's gonna cost us, I wonder if we could get by on a year where we had to do negotiations. I wonder if we could get by for $4,000 anymore.
And
And
then
then,
they
of course,
gave us, what, 3 or?
and we were lucky to get a 3-year contract. I think that's the first time, we never had a 3-year before.
It was either one or two that I recall.
Quite often it was just a 1-year contract. So you're paying upwards of $4,000 a year.
You still paying them years,
Are they
when
still?
they're like 1,500 or.
Yeah, well, that's another question we gotta have answered here. When they stuck us for all that,
So-
Did she get paid for this year already, or
yeah, it wasn't
Yeah,
too,
That was claimed
too
not
long ago.
too long ago.
was this last fall, or?
And then
It's
she
no, it's this
No,
spring.
it's-
Was this spring?
got her retention and said, oh, golly, I got a better deal, see ya.
When is she done, or is she?
She's done.
No, she took off for Europe for 3 months or so.
Took our money, went to Europe,
Every other company.
and every other company.
I sent out a mass email to other counties to find out what they've done before. If you're interested, talk to Humboldt County. I think they tried this once and it didn't work, you know. It sounds great in theory to sit around the campfire and sing Kumbaya and work things out, but the one thing that I see is an issue, one, are they still considered a union if they're not paying dues? And if they're not considered a union, what are the other public employees, how are they gonna work that?
Yeah, that's your point.
Because what happened in Humboldt County was they tried that, and it didn't work.
But there can be 1,000 reasons why it didn't work though, too.
I'll tell you what happened if you really want me to tell
Yeah,
you. Every other department that was able to go union did. And now you're working with 5 unions instead of just 2, or 3 or whatever you've got.
One, yeah, Chickasaw's got about 4, 5.
So then the biggest question I see comes up is why are we negotiating for something different in secondary roads versus in the courthouse? And I know the jobs are different and everything else, but if you've got a comp board that says, here's your % increase for all salaried employees or whatever, and then you guys determine hourly rates, what makes one different than the other one? Now, being unionized over there, they're bargaining unit, that's the whole purpose behind it, but.
Well, I don't know if you noticed in Mitchell County, comp board meets and decides the raise for elected officials. Normally, well, since I've been on the board, that has carried over to all the employees.
Right.
We treat everybody the same.
Except secondary roads
Who wants to have a contract? But, would they have been better off?
Secondary roads, my understanding is it costs those union guys about 2 hours of wages a month that belong to the union. Well, if they're at $19 an hour, we can figure, for easy figuring, $40 a month, that's $480 a year it costs them to belong to the union. And that's over 1% of their wages goes to Scarecrow.
And I'm not opposed to it, I'm just saying, there's a can of worms that can be opened up and it goes beyond the
Well,
secondary.
But then like when Stan was at that one negotiation, you know, we kind of showed him, this is how much money there is. There isn't any more. You know, so if you want more, well, then somebody's gotta go. So, I mean, you want less people working, or you want, and more money in your pocket, and,
My thoughts is similar to Stan's in that, you know, we've got this agreement and it seems to work, and really the only thing we sit down at the table for every time is wages.
Yeah,
Everything else,
we did a little negotiation on part-time help, but.
Right, but I mean, everything seems to be
It's basically wages.
kind of
and-
set up now that why is it so difficult and why pay all that money just to sit down and talk about raises?
And the other thing of it is, I mean, all of those people want their vacations when they want them. And I have no problem with that if we can have the fill-in people to make it work. And that's where they're gonna have to work with us. I mean, I'm sorry, you can't have one or two deciding that they don't want ours to work, but yet again, they want everything going their way. I mean, I think we could make it work if we wanted to.
That's, you know, that's the biggest thing, and maybe,
How many union members you have out there? 6?
you know, I don't know, I don't get privy to that, how much they have. I mean, I know it shows up in the table, but I haven't looked at, there's probably half of them. And some of them are not as active as others.
I doubt if you have half or anymore.
7 or 8 at the most.
No, it's about half.
I don't think any of the right
I mean,
well,
people
what's it
are.
cost us?
I'm saying,
$4,000 or $5,000, but, and it's probably
For
$8,000 if you
negotiating.
got a 3-year contract. So we gotta
I mean,
take that right
the
off the
worst
top.
thing you can do is try, and they say, no, we're not going to. But,
But then, what are you talking, decertifying?
That's what they have.
Basically what you're
Are you-
asking.
are you
to do.
just
well, I
asking
don't
to
know
sit
that
down
they'd
and-
have to necessarily decertify, they could have their own group. It wouldn't, I mean, they just wouldn't affiliate with,
But that contract we got expires, and then if you have nobody negotiate a new one, well, then they don't have a contract per se.
well, we can basically, again, come up with the same contract. I mean, we can
Just
go
use the
through,
same contract and continue.
the same contract with a couple changes or whatever, an addendum or,
I've only gone through a couple of these negotiations, but it always seems to be, it's give and take on a lot of minor things, and it all comes down to what are our raises gonna be every year. That's the last thing we always negotiate on, isn't it? That's a back and forth thing all the time.
but again, if they can make it work, they can say that each union guy can save $500, $480 a year. I mean, that should be big to them. That's a couple cases of Budweiser.
Determine their system coming in. Maybe they don't want to.
Well, that's just it too. I think,
Yeah, they are.
Do the amendment. That'd be somebody they'd agree to too.
Or you need to have somebody neutral.
I mean, there for a while, you know, the dispatchers and that had a union, and I think that lasted about 3 months, didn't it, Lowell?
Yeah,
Number of
when we
years ago.
first started, yeah, they just, before they even got going,
They disbanded,
See,
they
I
found
don't-
out it cost them way too much.
Well,
for-
Stan was gonna close the jail, so.
I don't think we treat anybody different.
before they got initial.
So,
When you see them,
Yeah.
the letter has to come from the Board of Supervisors because that's who the agreement's with, it's not the county engineers through the Board of Supervisors. So I
Well,
don't,
can we ask the couple of,
I can feel them out.
or even ask them to come to one of our meetings and
Yeah.
we as a board sit here and explain,
stewards.
we would like to consider, we wouldn't hire a new person if you don't, you drop yours, and we can do
First they'll get 20 reasons from Scarrow why they shouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Because he wants a job.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt to ask, you know.
I really don't see what it's helping them if there's only 7 or 8 out of 17. That means less than half are in the union.
I've got 3 over there.
Huh?
I've only got 3
Over there?
4.
Exactly. And what we do, try to do what's fair to everybody.
Well,
To the
everybody
county
gets
end.
treated the same whether they're in or
Exactly.
not.
Right, and so same way in the courthouse here, you might say, everybody gets the same, everybody has the same handbook, or, and you hate to even call it that, you just
Yeah.
guidelines that we go by, and, you know, I mean, it's not like there's only so much money in the pot, and
Well, I guess I have to assume that if Renee's not here for secondary roads, are you approaching the sheriff's department the same way?
they're not union.
They're not?
No.
What must be over there? Yeah.
No, because every year we get a big thank you, because they get the same as a grade, you know, and pre-canned hams.
I'm not opposed to it, I just don't know how well it, I maybe I'm the Debbie Downer and think how bad it's gonna be, you know. But I'll plant the seed.
See, that would be a whole lot easier to go along with this appreciation thing,
Well,
for me.
you're always gonna get resistance whether you've got one or not. I don't think you're gonna change personalities out there, there's always gonna be somebody that's not happy with how things are going, union or not. But I think for the most
You
part,
got
we
any
have.
happy people out there?
Comment.
I'd drag them in the office, tell them, sit down, and show me your IPers and show me your
They've
healthcare.
been reminded of that a few
No,
times.
and then tell them to go out and see what pops or mayors will give them.
That's been talked about before.
I would, and then I would show them the door and tell them, come back in 3 days and tell me what you found out.
Yeah.
You don't know how good they've got it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Outside the bread's butter, Don.
I've got one more thing for you.
Just one?
Kind of minor.
Just one?
Osage Chamber of Commerce, Wendy. Yeah. They've got, and this is ridiculous to me, this is one of your other government things, you're gonna like this. Her husband made a train for the kids out of barrels and pulls it with a lawnmower. And they've been doing this for, I don't know, I think she said 6 to 10 years now. Weld it up, you know, it's got, but it's a train that gets pulled by a lawnmower and you go around the park and, well, she can no longer operate that because a certain government department said it needs to be certified by an engineer. They don't care what kind of engineer, which leads me to be, what's the point if it's not, you're gonna take an environmental engineer and have him certify a lawn tractor that can stop and barrels are, I don't certify welds, I'm not a welder,
What part of it needs to be
the
certified?
whole thing. here's the thing, there's no criteria to evaluate it.
Well, I'd say it looks good to me.
Okay, that's fine. One, I've been asked to do that, but two, I'm under your guys' insurance. Now, she's insured with what she's got. If the county engineer certifies this piece of equipment and something happens, the insurance company's gonna come back here and say, hey, wait a second, you certified it and said it was good. And now somebody got hurt. So now the county's on the, I think we need to stay out of it, but I think it's also ridiculous that she
That's
needs
a
a
city.
certified train.
We used to get a
With
car
no-
and tie a rope to it and tie it to a bumper and go.
Well, I
down
asked her, I
ditches.
said if she had radio flyer wagons that were built in a unionized manufacturing plant, would you still need it certified?
But that's a city issue, isn't it?
No, but they need an engineer.
Then it's what?
Maybe we could put
City don't have
seatbelts
an
in
engineer?
football.
Well,
I guess.
They can talk to somebody about it. They just brought it up to me and I said, there's gonna be some issues here. Number one, I can't do it. I'm not personally insured with my engineering license. I'm under the board of supervisors. I'll talk to them, but it also, I think it raises a red flag with liability, and I know you're shaking your head going, this is ridiculous, and I agree, it's ridiculous that, number one, they want you to certify something, but they don't give you any criteria to certify it with. So how do you,
I mean, let's be a little honest on this. That stupid little thing doesn't go over 4 or 5 miles an hour. The worst that could happen is the wheel falls off and it stops.
or it
They got seatbelt, don't they have
I
seatbelts?
don't know.
Where are they gonna be running this?
They run it in the park for,
I think at the
Friday night out?
Friday night.
Friday night out, they do
Yeah.
it, they're gonna probably have it in St. Ansgar for their
That's too bad.
oatmeal days and
Mhm.
bratwurst
Fourth of
days,
July.
they could use it there, but I don't, for 6 years, it's never been a problem, and all of a sudden it is.
Okay, who's the
But here's
one
her-
that needs to have this in certification? What department?
What's that?
You said there was somebody, some
I can't remember,
Agency?
it's the,
inspections and appeals?
it's the Department of Boilers,
Well, it's not a steam engine, it's.
wait, boilers something and
Is that
carnival rides or something.
Oh,
It's, I hadn't get a chance to call the local representative of that department yet, who lives just west of Stacyville,
But her husband built it, right?
yeah, and he's a
been
welder.
He's been an iron worker forever,
He's probably certified welder.
He
you
is,
know, so I mean,
But he's not an engineer.
right,
Well, if he sits on the tractor, he is.
yeah.
with a hat, yeah, he's gotta have a striped hat. See,
Casey Jones.
The lawnmower is being donated for use by Norby Green, and the lawnmower's gotta be certified that it can stop. It's gotta have a mirror on it. I said, does it need blinkers and headlights too? I don't know, but,
This is why people write on, I'm sick of it, and
so,
There's one of those in Elma too, for whatever it's worth. I mean, she drives it around as well for the same things. I'm not sure if they've had any similar situations.
I know
but-
somebody else that owned one of those and they quit because the insurance was too expensive to have one of those.
well, Radar Millen used to have one in town here.
Probably quit because of the insurance.
once it's certified, then there's fees.
Mm-hmm.
A $70 fee to have it,
That's what
I think it's all comes down to they need money. And you're running this mower train and it,
You see that in the, it's been in the paper a number of times, the state of Iowa has more licensures. You know, you gotta be licensed to do this and licensed to do that than any other state in the union.
Certify it.
And so-
well, I'm just telling you, if something happens.
But then they're gonna have to start charging those little kids to ride, because golly, now we need $70 to
Well,
get a
they do charge,
license.
they do charge. It costs to do that. It's not free at Friday
I
night
thought
out.
they- I thought
No.
Friday night out, that thought they, oh, they give them a token, I see.
No, you gotta buy a $5 wristband and you can ride the stuff and do it all night long, or buy a token to do it. It's not free.
Oh, really?
Parents have to pay for their kids to do those things at Friday night out.
They don't end up making any money on it neither. I mean, that's
I don't know, but there's a charge.
I mean, time you load that stuff all up and whatever, and that, I mean, there's not enough.
What about the playground equipment in the park? Has that been certified?
I don't know.
Is there a license for that?
It's been manufactured by a
Mhm.
certified manufacturing plant under ISO, whatever, you know.
In China?
Oh, yes.
The old tire and the
Yeah.
rope and
I'm an engineer and I worry about liability because it's gonna come
You
back.
can't worry about all that stuff.
Well, that's my job, is to worry about that
You
stuff.
can't worry about all that stuff anymore, I tell you,
Well, make them sign a waiver.
they'll get you in the house and keep you there, I mean, that's all.
Make them sign a waiver before they get on the train. And that brings up another thing, I see the conservation out there planning on having that rendezvous again. I hope they understand, Heartland does not insure them. And so if somebody would get sick or hurt out there, it's the county that has to pay. And so they're supposed to be buying special event insurance. You might wanna pass that on.
What round you do is that?
Well, they have,
fall.
in the fall, they have then the school kids go out there and.
Oh,
stuff.
okay, yeah.
You know, everybody needs to know how to skin a coyote.
No, I'm sure. Well, you never know when you're gonna have to do that.
Well, if there'd be a little more of that, we'd have more pheasants.
That's about right.
We have that. I did see a few pheasants though.
Yeah, they're starting to come back.
But the nesting's probably shot. All the water.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're off the subject.
Well, I'm leaving it up to you guys. I mean,
We're not engineers.
well, I'm not a manufacturing engineer to tell them that the welds are good.
Well, you don't have to say anything about it. Just say you're.
I'll get some more
Secondary road
information. I'm gonna
engineer.
call the local department representative and find out exactly what's going on. Because I don't understand how you can say, we don't care what kind of engineer it is, it's just gotta be an engineer. Well, it's pretty vague.
Can we appoint an engineer?
What's that?
Can we appoint an engineer
For,
for the train?
it's the city, it's the,
Well, even the best well can snap, can it?
yeah.
I mean, that's the whole joke of it, I mean,
That's perfect. I think it's completely ridiculous, number one, they gotta have it certified. The only thing I can do is say, hey, you're a welder. Are these welds, do they meet specifications for welding? Because I don't know what the specifications for welding are.
And I guess he's a certified welder, and I guess he would have to say yes. They're done to the best of his ability. Not to say not any one of his welds
I mean-
can snap.
Does it need to have seat belts in it? I don't know the answer to that. Does it need inflatable tires versus hard tires? I don't know.
Airbags?
Isn't it if it's off-road or on-road?
Well, see, and I think that they were wondering too if it was first that it was a rail kind of a train
Oh.
versus a pull-behind train,
Mhm.
but it's completely,
You can walk faster than that thing goes.
Murphy's Law though.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can't protect yourself from everything. I mean, didn't want to get out of bed in the morning, that was the key.
When I got out of bed, it's my own choice and my own, this is,
But I mean,
Is there a possibility other people find out you're certifying them and you have other people?
well,
that
it
you
kinda goes
certify their
back to the
trains
same
too?
thing with these other local people trying to certify their recycling systems, where they gotta have an engineer look at their, you know, when you try to get a local recycler that wants to recycle refrigerators and things like that, so it needs to be certified by an engineer. Why? I don't know the first thing about recycling a refrigerator, but they want you to look at their plan and tell them their plan is good. Well, what do I know about a plan for recycling? And what do I know about what it's gonna cost to recycle and what you're gonna, you know? It's totally ridiculous to have somebody certify something like that that has no idea
who's
what
making all these things up.
the state.
Yeah. Therein lies the problem.
Well,
kind of like out at the landfill, my understanding is the people at the DNR quite often are just fresh out of college, and they're the ones setting the rules on how you're going to have your kit or whatever, and so on and so forth, and they're fresh out, they don't have any experience, any whatever, and yet, like you say, that it goes right down the line. You know, we had that issue when they wanted to build Absolute Energy couldn't be dumping that clean water in the creek because it was gonna make it too clean.
Yeah.
Run it 4 miles so it didn't dilute as much in the cedar. Well, I mean, come on, folks.
I agree, we're all pretty
Now,
much
it's time,
people.
it's time we have to stand up and say enough of this crap's enough. You start doing it as a group and by God, we're gonna win. You start laying back and everybody nothing's gonna happen, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
When the revolution comes, I'm gonna be there with my little stick, right in the front line.
everybody else will have the guns.
I don't give a damn, I'll at least get one swing in.
Going down fighting.
So what do you wanna do? You wanna certify that train?
I only worry about the liability. I don't really think it's a big deal, but
Well,
the
that's
liability
silly.
comes back here. If their insurance company has a claim, they're gonna say, oh, that county engineer certified it, so it's his liability.
They gotta prove that it was a poor design that you certified.
Do they have insurance?
She does, she's had insurance for years on it.
Well, then, like Stanley says, they only sue for the amount of the insurance that's available.
I'll talk to Wendy a little bit more.
Talk to her and then talk to Mark.
Is there some sort of letter you gotta sign?
Well, let's go back
Well,
real
it's
quick.
too bad it has to be back
Let's go back real quick. Do we wanna do something for secondary road guys?
there.
I'd do $40.
It comes out of your department, right?
Maybe
Yeah,
50.
we'll probably be over
Huh,
budget.
50? 50?
I think 50 would be good. Chamber bucks, pick them up. They need something for, besides their
And
overtime.
they did, yeah, I'm not saying they aren't deserving, but, you know, I mean, there was not, we didn't have any loss of life, which was,
No
They
injuries.
got overtime.
and that too,
Lots of it.
yeah.
But still, like I say, when the phone rings at Sunday afternoon, I don't care what you're doing, you drop everything, you get in the truck and you go. You don't sit there and holler for 2 hours, I don't wanna go, I don't wanna this and that. I mean,
So when I do my budget, there's no category for it.
Rich, we've always taken care of you.
When I'm behind jail bars, yeah, you'll take care of it.
As long as you don't go to the bottom line.
We'll promise to come and visit you once a year.
It's right there, employee appreciation, that's your line item.
Kind of a one-time thing.
It's a one-time thing.
Yeah, yeah, it needs to be stated in there, one-time thing, reservations.
Reservations.
He wants to ride the train.
That's to be the engineer.
There we go.
You'll be taken to prison in the train.
Now, they're gonna certify it if you can wear the hat, huh?
Nicknamed Casey Jones.
We have to get you one of those air cans with the whistle.
I can scream.
Our world's crazy, isn't it? It gets crazier every day.
Well, they're trying to protect you from yourself, and that's just, I mean,
You're right, we've
you know, I
got so
mean,
many laws and regulations to protect ourselves from ourselves, well, there's a thing called survival of the fittest.
That's
You're
right.
just smart enough to take care of yourself.
You got a few scars to show
Government's
that.
supposed to protect us from each other, not ourselves.
Okay, we're gonna have a conference call. Sheila's here. She's been looking at the clock.
Here's some leftovers.
Not all the number again.
641.
Going back on with the employees, did you want to do that as a motion or? Never really formal action with that,
What's that, on that?
for the $50 in chamber bucks.
Motion.
Okay, I'll second it then for you. One time only, make sure that's in there.
A one-time.
For the next 500 years.
Well, they did, we had, they were 12 hours shifts and it's over and above. you know, their normal activities.
Well, there was a couple of dispatchers that did stay on again over. and
Well, I
above.
don't have a problem,
Can we throw those couple?
I would
in?
do that.
Yeah,
Put that in the motion.
yep. Further discussion?
Anybody who'd worked over?
Hearing none. Ralph?
Aye.
Wolflander?
Aye.
Walk, aye. You haven't gone to Kings yet, so okay, we'll drop down to item 12, courthouse plan update, geotechnical proposals.
That's that, I'm gonna do the soil borings, and FEH had recommended CTV
Okay.
for $3,645. They'll be on site for 1 to 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
It'll take 1+ week for the report, and final report after the second mobilization. So,
Can you clarify what it is? You said soil borings, what are they gonna be doing?
you're right.
It's,
Because it doesn't really say in here, it just says geotechnical exploration.
They have to bore it down into the soil, and some of them, on the RFPs, they'll go down, some holes will be 15 feet deep, some holes will be 25 feet deep, to find out the makeup of the soil that's under the courthouse or whatever, because they're talking about doing, you know, a basement this time. Well, what they do know is that soil has never been disturbed from the fact that the courthouse is there 150 years and this
Right.
country was, you know, not settled
Right.
or whatever. So I think maybe that might be one of the reasons. One of them was like $5,000, you know, well, Olson was 5,000, Team was 4,280, and Terracon was $4,950, so. But they have to do this, it's part of their soft costs.
I just wanted the definition of what that meant.
Right,
I understand.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they did the same off the Valent there, they were there for a number of times doing soil borings, and then they knew which part to give us.
Make sure you don't find some strange geological thing or
Right.
Indian burial ground or something that you don't know is there.
former dump site.
Exactly, so you don't get any
About 2 of them out
surprises.
there.
Right.
Yeah, I understand, okay, that's all.
Something that needs to be done.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that your motion?
My motion is, yeah, to approve the CTV.
Second.
Been moved and second, further discussion.
For $36.45.
Hearing none, Wolflander.
Aye.
Ralph.
Aye.
Walk, aye, motion carried. Item B, consideration of having the booth at the fair for information purposes. I think that would be a good idea for the,
Fine.
we can have our
What's it called?
drawings, our maps, our handout from the paper. I can sit there the whole time for that matter, or if some of you want to sit there part of the time, it doesn't matter, but I think we really have to do a good job of getting this out to the public, that they feel comfortable with it, and I think if it does, why, it'll go. If it,
Okay, what's it cost for a fair booth?
I didn't ask you.
Are we gonna be in the air conditioning building?
So much a foot, isn't it?
Well, let's check on it and come back with it.
Probably approximately 150.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, I think it might be
We don't
down
need,
there.
you don't need a great big two-stall.
I don't know.
Yeah, we just need the single,
Yeah,
Could be.
that'd be good. So let's check with the,
do you want to check, or do you want me to check, Lowell, or?
I can check.
Okay.
tell
Yeah,
them,
normally they
tell them, you know, we're big contributors at the fair.
Good luck there.
Prime spot.
We want to try and spot.
Close to the food and the bathrooms.
And the beer tent.
That'd probably be better.
That's-
Blue building or event center.
Yeah, we don't want to be in the cow barn. We wanna
No, it's
be
in the,
business.
it's in the theater, it's in the event center.
I know.
It's all the event center, and nice air conditioning.
Yeah.
To make sure you're not next to any of the political groups or anything like that, you wanna stay away from.
Probably should,
Yeah,
not.
not
stay
be
away.
next to
Yeah,
one of those.
well, there should be, well, yeah, I guess they do, both have.
You mean you want us to stay away from the Friends of the Courthouse?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Is this in addition to still having the meetings around the county? Is this like another way of doing that?
We've got a lot of people who go to
Informational?
those meetings.
I understand, you're still planning on doing those, but this is just
I would
another
like
way.
to, yeah.
Okay.
I would like to do those, and
Yeah.
they say, give the public as much opportunity as they can to ask the questions, why this is being done, why that's,
When is the fair?
Starts here, no, wait a minute, July.
Well,
Starts
it's the
here.
4th, don't
And
it?
it ends on here, I think it starts Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay.
And then it ends on Sunday.
Yeah, they bring the livestock in. and
Yeah,
invite
I think
Tuesday.
actually that building opens Wednesday maybe.
Probably.
I think it opens Wednesday and it closes early on Sunday.
so,
We were in my conversation last year at the town meeting.
I think so.
let's put that on again for next week, when we find out more information then.
Okay.
Then item C on that, discussion on timeframe. Basically, the conversations I've been having with different people in my district, different ones say they're willing to support this idea, but they do want to vote. And I wouldn't be setting a vote yet right now, because once we set a date, I think that makes us committed, then we can't do some of the things that we'd like to be able to do. But Barb said the earliest we could bring this up for election is, I think, the 6th of August.
You have to have
But-
46 days prior.
Yeah, prior 46 days that we really can't do any, I mean, at least we can't be supporting whatever. And so to me, that is too soon. The next really available date then is the
November 5th.
November 5th, which would save a little money because the cities have to have their city
You're gonna
elections
have
anyway.
Half of them set up anyway, or a little better.
So, basically, if the two of you agree, I think we can informally take a look at trying to do this time frame. We'll make a formal motion sometime in the first part of September to go with a November.
Only way we can do it. I mean,
Yeah,
This one go later.
So,
Might as well tie it to a regular election, or general
Right.
election.
so Lowell, if you'd put that down for the first part of September, that we set a date for a GO bond election. That's what, because that saves us, what, a little over 1%, Heath said?
Yeah.
So 1%, that's
Well,
quite a
they
bit.
said it was the cheapest.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, quite a bit, so, and I'd be interested in going, like I say, the GO bond with financing the thing with the 1 cent option sales tax and the windmill, so that it wouldn't cost the public any money at all. That would be the recommendation that I would want to pursue. I don't know about
That
the,
sounds good to me. So I'm gonna promote him a little bit.
Yep.
Not gonna lower your taxes, but we're not gonna raise them either.
okay, with that, then basically consensus of the board that we will pursue that avenue. Item 13, meetings attended. I had NICOG yesterday. We set our budget for the 2013-14 fiscal year. We project to come in with $200 of revenue over expenses this year, but we project to have around, I think it was 90,000 the following year. If I do that real fast. Had kind of some bad news yesterday. Supervisor Dennis May sits on that board, and he had a heart attack last Friday.
Really? That's too
And
bad.
he's in good physical shape. I mean, he works out and whatnot. He had a full blockage, and Friday afternoon, he was mowing his ditches by hand and that, and had chest pains and that. Went in the house at 2:30, and they still weren't gone at 4:30 when his wife come home, so they decided to go and then had a stent put in, 100% blockage there, and he may need a second stent here yet next week. But
Anybody hear on Jerry Plaguey, how he's doing? I haven't heard anything for a while. Having stem cell up in Rochester.
I seen in the paper,
Hmm?
he was in the Des Moines paper that one time, with
Yeah,
his son
yeah,
and
it
his
is.
grandson. They let him out just to go to that.
Yeah. Quite a process, I guess.
No, that's a good thing.
Part of the problem that we're gonna have with NICOG is the state again did not come through with funding for buses. And, you know, a couple of years ago, we basically got 20-some buses replaced with federal funds and whatnot. Our fleet is, we have at any one time 55 always on the road. And with the additional ones in the garage and that, the older ones, we have, I think there's over 90-some buses that, so this next year, we're authorized 2. And basically, after every 5 or 6 years, we have that many miles that it's time to start to take a look at them. Part of the problem that we've had is these Ford diesels have really been a problem. There's class action lawsuits. They're not holding up like they're supposed to. Worth County, under their gambling money, a number of years ago, bought a couple with Mercedes.
Mercedes? Yeah.
And those things got so much better mileage than that, but you can't buy them, we can't buy them because of the federal thing saying that over 50% of our purchase price has to be USA. Although we were able to weasel around part of that here a year ago because there was a bunch of used ones, like 1 or 2 years old, and then that didn't qualify, and we were able to.
Doesn't Dodge put their label on that same vehicle?
That I couldn't tell you right
I
offhand.
think they do. I think they do. Might be something to look at. Like the
So you get
Chrysler.
federal funds for those buses and state funds. And then how much of the local funds go into that?
Right offhand, I couldn't tell you.
They don't get that all that much from us anyway, though, do they? For
Ridership.
what's per capita, what?
Yeah,
That's per
so much,
capita.
it went up here the first
What,
year.
65 cents?
No, it's more.
It's more than that now.
Is it?
I think it used to be, but I'd have to look and see what it was.
But I mean, that won't go very far.
No,
Buying
I
vehicles is what I'm saying.
Right, it probably
You know,
work with
You know.
people driving and
Yeah.
other maintenance.
and
You got 90 vehicles. How many counties? 9 counties?
I'm not sure if they service all 9 counties or if they,
They've been running one of them buses to Iowa City twice a week too, on the avenue. If you get to the avenue, you get what is it, $10?
that was under, yeah, some sort of special,
Are they still doing that?
yep. There was one that goes to Iowa City and there's another one that goes to Fort Dodge. And basically it's, again, people that absolutely cannot afford any other services, but that's the only places these services are offered. And so it,
Vehicle goes to VA hospitals. Who furnishes the vehicle for VA hospitals?
some of those are the VA themselves, and
Themselves.
some of those are also,
Veterans organizations.
yep. You go up to Minneapolis, that's where I end up going to, just because it's closer than Des Moines. And quite often you'll see like, it'll say Moore County VA or whatever, or not VA, service.
Mhm. Or DAV might provide some,
They
I
might.
don't know,
Yeah.
disabled veterans.
So that was my meeting anyway.
Do you have anything?
No.
I just had a workshop last night with Floyd Mitchell, Chickasaw, Early Childhood Iowa. And we spent about 4 hours going over RFPs for the next fiscal year and waiting for the state to make up their mind how much it's gonna give us. Just a workshop.
Okay, item B, board appointments, do we have some?
Just a reminder, supervisors, you have 2 comp board appointments, and then conservation, they're having their meeting tonight. And then there's one for the Veterans Affairs, and Ron Douglas will continue on. It's a 3-year term. So, yeah, you'd have Ivan Wold and Jane Mosher. They're expire the end of June.
End of June?
And I think all these do, so.
I really don't know that much about Jane, but I mean, I
I'll
think Ivan,
contact her.
I think Ivan has done basically a good job for us.
Jane's been on
Yeah, June.
2-3 years now.
She's,
Who's on conservation
That,
that Brian Hoffman.
then?
yeah,
Sticky Wicket. Is he gonna be reappointed or?
well, there's, let's wait until after the meeting tonight.
Oh, yeah, you got a meeting out there tonight.
Yeah, I'll
All
try
right.
to make that
And
meeting.
Veterans Affairs is Ron Douglas, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, we put that on for next week,
Okay.
board appointments.
Yep.
Clerk of court report, we have that copy, we got a little gratuity from the state, $2,608.81, so noted.
covers her rent.
You think?
Oh, they're good people. We'll take care of them.
Shall.
We shall take care of them.
By code, shall. Got claims left and no,
Do you know Mitchell County was one of the first counties in North Iowa to charge inmates rent to be at the jail? It was like 40 years ago, I think they started that, but Mitchell County was one of the first ones in North Iowa. There were very few counties at the time that had ordinances to charge their inmates. Mitchell County said we need to pay.
Talk about insult to injury. Well, then Greg, which one, Greg just said, that one, that guy sent $12,000, paid his bill.
I think a lot of them don't, though.
Yeah, but it was interesting that the county was one of the ones that decided you needed to pay if you're in jail, you need to pay for your expenses.
Right.
That most counties were just letting them stay there for free. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm just saying it was that Mitchell County led the way in North Iowa. They say if you're gonna, do a crime, you're gonna pay for it, and reimburse us.
crime, you do the time.
Yeah, and pay the price.
That's usually the way it should go.
Well, right, so I'm saying that's a good thing, the Mitchell County likes to lead the way on things. Back then, they said you're gonna pay, you're gonna get a free ride.
Well, I suppose too, we could, I suppose we almost have to acknowledge that Department of Transportation,
What again was
A little
that?
coordination on the floodplain.
it
Sugar
says the
Creek.
Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, has instructed the Department of Natural Resources, DNR, and the Iowa Department of Transportation, DOT, that we will be the overseers of structures that, in the past, did not fit the criteria for hydraulic reviews. In order to be in compliance with the National Flood Insurance Program, the DOT developed procedures to satisfy FEMA and DNR. Oh God, that's gonna be a... For informational purposes, I have enclosed the background of memorandum of agreement between the DNR and DOT. Please find enclosed the record of coordination floodplain development form that needs to be signed by Mitchell County. The purpose of this form is simply to acknowledge the county and to the DNR that the DOT has performed hydraulic review of the structure and has determined that it does not conflict with the NFIP. Please note that this is not a permit, but simply an acknowledgement of the above. We're just acknowledging that basically DOT is gonna,
Triple 14's in there.
Yep.
It says, so.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Do we put it on for next week and make a formal motion, or?
There's a consensus.
I think we could do it as consensus of the board, couldn't we? I mean, it's, there's,
We're not spending any money.
we're not committing, we're just acknowledging.
Yeah, just acknowledge
Yeah.
it.
It's consensus of the board.
That was in that amendment when we approved the agenda, remember?
Are you happy with the claims?
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
make
that's
a-
right, we haven't done the claims
I'll make a
yet.
motion to approve them if there's no other,
I'll second.
okay?
Been moved and second that we approve the claims. Further discussion?
Well, we really need to be watching that. Going down to Charles City with our vehicles, especially old junk. I mean,
About $3,000, wasn't
well, yeah. and it was
29 or
29, or no, it's over 3,500 I thought it was, and then dang thing's 12 years old, it's got 188,000 miles on it. I mean, it should've been going down the road to Pee Wee's maybe. Now I better drive it for another 188,000 miles.
Get your money back out of it.
Well, I thought we had plenty of pickups out there. What's this one going for?
You, is that a Silverado?
2001 Silverado. Well, I mean, Rich didn't know, I mean,
He's been inundated lately, there's at least 4 places.
Okay, further discussion. Hearing none, Morel.
Right.
Open.
aye.
Walk, aye, motion carried. Anything else for the good of the cause?
Well,
The cause is good. Stand adjourned at 10:19.